Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine is now the epicenter of the battle. Russian and Ukrainian forces are locked in a gruesome exchange, battling through the streets of the eastern city. After months of fighting, the tide is changing against Kiev. Reports from the front lines indicate that the Russian troops have encircled Bakhmut and are tightening their grip with every passing hour. The Wagner Group is leading the fight for Russia here, and it issued a warning to Kiev asking Ukrainians to abandon the city. Wagner Group claims it has now almost completely surrounded the city, and only one road is still open for Ukraine soldiers. The city's capture would have mostly symbolic value for the Kremlin. However, despite the overwhelming odds, the Ukrainians are digging in deep.
This area is under constant shelling. We are trying to suppress the enemy. They throw cannon fodder at us. Mostly we hit equipment because we operate 152 caliber, and that is how we help our infantry.
Ukraine is reinforcing the area with elite units, while regular Russian army and forces of the Russian private military group Wagner have made further advances into Bakhmut's northern suburbs. On Saturday, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu carried out an inspection of the front line in eastern Ukraine. Shoigu handed out awards to servicemen and women. Moscow says the defense minister was in southern Donetsk region without specifying the exact place or time. Right now, this is what Bakhmut looks like. Months of artillery fire has reduced the city to rubble. Not a single building seems intact, showing how relentless the shelling has been. The small industrial city, known for its salt mines, used to be home to some 70,000 inhabitants, but now it is a ghost town, battered and bruised. The fighting has forced most of its residents to flee. Those remaining were forced to hide in basements, only venturing out for essential food and fuel. But even those are now fleeing as they have no access to gas, electricity or water.
We are leaving. We remained until the very last. We wanted to stay, but how can we? Our neighbor's flat has now been destroyed. It is time to go.
As per latest reports, there is intense Russian shelling of routes leading west out of Bakhmut, an apparent attempt to block Ukrainian forces' access in and out of the city. Ukrainian soldiers are working to repair the damaged roads, and more troops are rushing toward the front line in a sign that Ukraine was not yet ready to give up the city. Ukrainian Air Force is providing crucial air support to troops on the ground. Helicopters play a vital role in delivering ammunition and provision, evacuating wounded and dead. For Russia, a victory in Bakhmut will be a stepping stone in capturing the surrounding Donbas region, an important war aim. Its capture could possibly allow the Russians to try to advance westwards towards Kramatorsk, but that city was well defended during the previous attack. This time, however, a retreat by Kiev could well be on the cards. For more on this, we're being joined live by Lester Munson, who is a senior fellow at the National Security Institute. Thank you for being with us. Now, why is Russia fighting so hard for Bakhmut, as it holds little strategic value? Or could this be a stepping stone in capturing the surrounding Donbass?
It's a terrific question. Russia has not had many victories on the battlefield for the past few months. Ukraine actually pushed Russian forces back at the end of last year in several key places, and there's been a kind of a limbo since then. So Russia desperately needs any kind of victory on the battlefield, strategic, symbolic, it doesn't matter. They need something where they can claim victory, and it appears that Russian decision makers have decided Bakhmut is the place where that is going to happen. This battle's been going on for months. It has cost tens of thousands of Russian lives, so the sacrifice has been enormous. It is unclear, however, I would say, that this victory will ultimately be of any strategic value beyond the symbolic here for Russia.
Right. We are getting reports that Russian troops have encircled Bakhmut and are tightening their grip. What are the options for the Ukrainian soldiers now?
Well, it is clear that Ukraine may have fewer and fewer options going forward. I do think it's a mistake to underestimate the Ukrainian fighting forces. They've been amazing for the past year, so I think it would be foolish to say that they're doomed. But there have been some signals that Ukrainian forces may be withdrawing from Bakhmut in a strategic move and setting up more of a barricade to the west to prevent Russian forces from going anywhere beyond Bakhmut. That is a distinct possibility.
Right, and where are we now with the war? Has the tide turned against Kiev, or with the promised military aid that will be coming, including those tanks, will that change the picture?
Well, I think that's an excellent question. My sense is while this may be a minor setback for Kyiv, they continue to be in a strong position. And if anything, a Ukrainian withdrawal from Bakhmut may enable Ukrainians to make a better argument to the United States and the West that they need more and better weapons now. So there's a question of whether the United States will provide F-16s for Ukraine. I think the Ukrainians will have a much better argument if they don't prevail in Bakhmut to get those planes, which should help them immediately with the battle against the Russians.
Right, Lester, thank you very much for your valued insights and your time being on the show.
Thank you.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.